Shreya Luthra, a student of third year Economic Honors, would like to thank you all for making your presence here in the second day in today of the 5-day e-workshop on R and LaTex software by Econtrix. Please try to follow as the guest speaker will teach during the session. The queries regarding the theme of the session can be conveyed through the chat box only. I request everyone to please maintain decorum for this event. The feedback form will be considered as your attendance for the day. Kindly wait in the meeting till the end of the event for further information. On behalf of the Department of Economics, we are honored and privileged to introduce our esteemed guest speaker, Dr. Devesh Birwal. Dr. Birwal is an assistant professor at the Department of Economics within the prestigious Delhi School of Economics at DU. He holds a distinguished academic award, having successfully completed his MA, MPhil, as well as PhD in economics from Jawaharlal Nehru University. His research expertise encompasses the fields of agricultural economics, microeconomics, and applied econometrics. He possesses a profound knowledge of statistical packages, including SPSS, R, as well as Stata. With his extensive background and wealth of experience, Dr. Birwal is exceptionally well suited to guide us through the profound insights and knowledge that we will acquire during this workshop. Yesterday, Sir provided instructions on the installation procedures for both R as well as RStudio. Moreover, he imparted foundational knowledge regarding essential commands and diverse applications of R within various contexts. Now, I would like to call our teacher in charge, Dr. Jyotsna ma'am, to greet our esteemed speaker of the day.
Thank you, Shreya. Very good afternoon, sir. On the behalf of Economics Department, I welcome you in the second session. And yesterday's session was really very, very informative, and our students really liked that. And they learned so much, particularly for the beginners. It was tremendously very, very informative lecture. So thank you so much for accepting our invitation and giving us time for the second session too. So I hand over the platform to you and now.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jyotsna, again for the kind words. And definitely, I don't think I'm that capable, but yeah, I will try my level best to give full effort to give this lecture, and very honestly. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so I end my yesterday lecture, and there I try to give you some information about the data frame. Fine. So I told you how to make a data frame and how to select some rows out of that data frame or some column out of that data frame. I mean to say some observation or some column means some variable. You can select those variable. You can select some very particular value from data frame by taking some number of the columns as well as the number of rows. Fine. And that for that you required a square bracket. Fine. So now I will in the next lecture I will try to give you another way to create a data frame. Initially we have seen that we first created some vectors, different vector for named roll numbers, names, date of birth, B stats, tricks, or micro, macro, and then out of that all the columns, all the factors or all the vectors. Through the vectors we have made one data frame. Fine, you have seen that. Let me show you that also on the screen, so that you can get to know remind the last. Yeah, so here you can see we have first made the vectors. Vectors means one variable and for that we have given some object name, stats, micro, tricks and all. And then we have named the one object, which is here the data frame. And to create data frame, we have used one function that is called data.frame. And within bracket, we have just list are all the vectors: roll number, names, date of birth, maths, stats, tricks, and all these things in a row in which we want it in a data frame. Fine. So we have created in that way. But if we don't want to create separately these vector, and if we want to include them into here only, so then what we need to do, we need to just add the roll number here only, the sequence, for example, this equal to this, comma, then comma is twice here. So you have to be careful about the comma and other things, because that will create an error here. So then for names equal to, you can differentiate here. We were using the assignment operator earlier, but here we are using the equal operator. What is the difference? If we use assignment operator here rather than equal operator, then again it will first create the vector here and then it will create the data frame. Fine. But if you use the equal operator, then it will not create any vector here. For example, I will show you here. Let me just remove all these things from here, keeping only roll number here. Okay, you can see I have created one data frame of MA result where we have only roll numbers. Fine. Roll number from 1 to 20. But if we use rather than this equal operator, this assignment operator, then what will happen? It will create this MA result also, and it will create this value, the vector also. Fine. Because we have assigned this. So if we use assignment operator, then it will create this value also. But we don't want this value. This is vector. We want directly our data frame. So then we need to use equal operator than the assignment operator. So I am moving this in my the today's codes. Here I have already used all these things. You can see, first of all, roll number, then comma, and then names, whatever names we required, then comma. Comma is always needed to tell the R that this is the next row or the next observation or the next column. Fine. So for next, you have to always use the comma. Fine. So their names, then date of birth, the B stats, B tricks, all we are using with the equal operator, not the assignment operator. You can see here carefully. So if you run this, first of all, because date is in the character format, you all know that we have previously also done. Let me remove all these things again first. Yeah. So date is in the character format. Fine. So here, rather than creating it, I am just converting it into the date format with this. Fine. So I am using the previous command only. So if you run this, you can see directly we have created the data frame rather than the creating a different values here. But because date we have created first, so if you don't want to create this even, so you can directly write here with rather than this date, you can write this information directly here. If you give this information directly, then it will also work. Let me write this. Fine. So let me remove all these things again. And if I'll run, you can see here we have not created any vector. Directly we have created the dates, date of birth. Fine. So here, why? Because in place of date, I have taken all the values which we want to create in that date variable. So if you use the date variable, that will also fine. If you use the this whole value here, that will also fine. So if you use date, then it's also fine, because you have created this date first and then use this. So you can see both way it will work. Fine. So that is one thing. Okay, let me remove all those things so that it will not create any okay, I am just doing it again, date, and I'm removing this date. Fine. So I have this MA first again. Now, if you forgot to add some variable, and that variable is very straightforward, that for all the observation you want only one value. For example, that all these values are for my DSC student, or maybe Delhi University students, or maybe SPM students. So you want only SPM in front of each observation. Fine. So you can add that variable here. What we are doing, MA first, square bracket, and on the 9th position, because we have 8 variable here, on the 9th position, we want to add only DU. Fine. So if I'll do that, so you can see now we have 9 variable rather than 8 variable. And if I open it, you can see we have V9, because we have not named this variable. So R is taking by itself that it's V9. So and the all observations are taking a uniform value, that is DU. Fine. So we have given a DU value here. But now what if we want some variable name also? Fine. So then we can use rather than this 9th number, if we write within bracket university. Fine. So within this square bracket, in inverted we are taking university here. So we are defining the name of that column. Fine. Here we are defining the name of column, and what value we are taking? DU in the character form. So you can see the 10th variable here have been created, and if you open it, now we have university DU. Okay. So now if we want to remove this V9, because we have 2 times this DU here, so we want only once DU. So you can remove also. If you write MA underscore first, the square bracket 9, and if you write null means you want to remove this entire value of this V9 or that column itself. Fine. So if you do that, so then you can see again you have 9 variable, then the 10th variable. So that this V9 is removed from here. Fine. Similarly, if you want to remove this value also, so that also you can do. You can rather than this DU, if you write again null, here I have done this. If you write with rather than this DU, if you write null, then this value will also be gone, and we are doing this. And dollar sign, you know, if this is the data frame, dollar sign is separation. In data frame, dollar sign, then you are referring some column. Fine. So for example, this MA first is a data frame, and after dollar sign, you can write roll number, you can write names, you can write DOB, you can write BStat. So that means you are referring entire columns of this. Fine. So here you are referring MA first, dollar sign, university. So you want to place all the value here, null. So you are removing this. So you can see now you have no university column. So university column is gone now. So you can remove this and you can add this. Fine. So this is the way you can add the new observations, and you can remove the old entire column. Fine. So I am removing the the data frame now again. Now in the next column, I will discuss how to merge 2 data frame. That was the last in the last class. That was question by Jyotsna. So here we are going to discuss about this. for example, here we have MA first 1, which has a data of roll number, names, P-stat, B-tricks, stats marks, and tricks marks. So only these 4 observations we have in MA first data. Now another data set we have where we have the same roll number, names, and then the another 3 type of the marks here, micro, macro, and maths. So if I'll run this, so we have MA first 1, MA first 2. So we have 2 data set. Now we want to merge them with the help of roll number, which is common here. Even you can merge with the names also, but we are merging with the roll numbers. Fine. So you can merge with the roll numbers. So you have these 2 data set and you are merging them in new data frame, which is new underscore MA. So this is the new data frame which you are creating with the help of merging these 2 data frame. Merge is a function here within bracket data frame 1, data frame 2, whatever the name of this data frame, you can refer this name. Fine. If the name is something else here, you have to write that name here. Then by.x. By.x is a function. Fine. So by.x means the variable in the first file. So that is roll number, and by.y is again the roll number. Fine. So you are merging them with the roll number, and if you merge them, you can see here you have 4 variable, here you have 5 variable, and after merging you have 8 because 1 variable is common in the both file. So it will comes once. Fine. So if you open, you can see roll number is once, but names, because you have the same variable in the both file, so once it will comes as a names.x, and second time it comes names.y. You have to be very careful if 2 data frame have the same name variable but have a 2 different values, then you have to first change their name. Fine. Or otherwise, mostly in R, it is a normal function. You have to give command to keep one that is a separate thing. But here, mostly it will take the both by dot x and dot y, so that you cannot left with one. But you can't make out easily. Matlab here you can make out by that dot x is in the first file and dot y in the second file. Fine. So you can change that name also later on. Let me take a 2 minutes break. I have a call. Let me handle that. Give me 2 minutes.
Yes, sir. All right, sir.
Yeah. Sorry for that. For this break. Okay. So you can see we have merged them, and the roll number is same, but the one variable which is name is now we have 2 times name.x and name.y. Fine. So now we want to change this name, or we want to first remove one, because this is repetition of one variable. So first of all, we want to remove this names.y. So you know how to remove this new underscore MA $, that name.y and null. So if you can run this, you know, you can remove this. Fine. So there is no that variable now. And also you want to change this name.x, rather than this name, you want name. Fine. So first of all, you can see the column name here. If you run this, you can see now we have column name. So on second position, we have name.x. So you can even copy from here and paste here, and in between of all these, you can put arrow. Fine. And you can assign this into the call names new.ma. That is one way, or otherwise you can write it again. So fine. So I am writing it again. So first place we have roll number, on second place we have name.x. So in place of that, I am just writing names. So I am creating a new name here. B-stats I am taking same, B-tricks I am taking same, micro I am taking same, maths I am taking same, macro I am taking same, and I am assigning this names to the call names. Fine. Now again you can check that you have changed this call names. So now it's names rather than names.x. Fine. So you can change it. Now if you want to rearrange this data, now if you want, for example, first names then roll number, first name that roll number, and then other things same. So you can use this square bracket, and after this comma, you all know that after this comma, whatever you write, that is about column. Fine. So this is about column. So here you use C, then you are writing second in first place. So that means you are bringing this names first, then one in on the second. So then roll number, then B stats, B tricks, micro, maths, and macro. So all like this. So if you run this, so you can see now in the new variable, you have names first, then roll number, then B stats, B tricks, macro, maths, and macro. Sorry, micro, maths, and macro. So you can see you can rearrange also like this. Fine. Like this, you can rearrange the variables. Fine. So this is the way you can change the name of your column. You can change the order of your column. You can merge the two data frame. Fine. So these are the things. Now, if you want to create any new new variable out of the existing variable, then what? Simran is asking, sir, column name, roll number is merged. What about the marks? That also merged. Yes, that is merged, na? You all know that. You can see here after this. No, in first in this first column we have only B stats and B tricks, and in second we have micro, macro, and maths. Fine. So in first we have two different variable or two different papers marks, and in other we have three different paper marks. So if we merge them, now we have all five together. Fine. So with roll number. So in place of 121, in the front of 121, we had 28 marks and 25 marks in the first, you can see. Fine. And in the second, you have 20, 18, and 18. So now you can see 20, 18, and 18. So it's merged with the roll number. Fine. So in front of, for example, Devesh marks, all the marks are now here. Fine. Similarly for 122, similarly for 123, and so on. Got it? Okay. So now I am talking about how to create a new variable. So fine. So now we had first of all, we have to attach the some variable to otherwise we have to always write a new MA. Okay, that will do later. First of all, with the help of this only. So we want to create basic stats. Fine. Here in D school, we have one course that is called basic statistics. Fine. But that have both stats as well as econometrics. Fine. So we have this separate marks here. We have this separate marks here, and for example, you can see the separate marks for the stats. Here you can see we have separate marks for stats and separate marks for the tricks. Fine. So now we want to add them. We want to add them and want a new variable here for basic statistics. Fine. We want to add them, and because it's from 70 marks, so we want to club them and divide by 2, so that we will have an average value, because the next marks also we want from 70 marks only. Fine. So here you can see in this formula we are doing the same thing. Fine. We are creating basic statistics marks with the stats marks and tricks marks. We are adding both. Fine. We are adding both and dividing by 2. Fine. And creating a new variable here. You can see here, you can see basic statistics, that is after adding these 2 and divide by 2. Fine. So if you add 28 by 25, so you will get around 33 and 53. So if you divide 53 by 2, then you will get 26 by 5.5. Fine. So this is, you are creating a one more variable with the help of existing variable. Fine. So you can see here, similarly, if you want to square the stats and add the ones B tricks only, the square of this and add the tricks, and then you want to create this, that is also done. You can see now you are squaring this and add this. Fine. This is not I don't want to create this, but yeah, somebody wants maybe for some other rule. So you can put any formula here. This is just to tell you that you can put any formula here. You can put anything and you can calculate in that way. Fine. So similarly, in the next, for example, here, if you create one more data frame, let me remove this. So you have created one more data frame here. And then about this data, if you want to calculate something, if you want to see the dimension of this data, what is dimension? Dimension is how many column you have and how many rows you have in this data frame. So if you ask for this, so then you have 10 observation and 8 variables. Fine. So 10 observation and 8 variable, that is written here also, but you can ask here also. That is up to you. Fine. Now, if you want to ask number of column, so then function is ncol. Fine. And MA first. So if you write this, then you will get this answer, the second thing. Similarly, n row, number of rows, then you will get the 10 here. Fine. Now, as we have discussed previously also, if you want to see the top 3 row of this data, this 10, you want only this 121, 122, 123. So you can write head, comma, 3. So you will get the first 3 rows. Similarly, if you want bottom 2 rows, then this, and structure, if you want to see the structure, the roll number, the number, numeric value. In structure, you can see all the variables, the variable in the forms of what kind of data type they have. For example, roll number have number, names have character, the gender or sex we have character, basic statistics and all marks have in number. So you can see the structure of your data. Similarly, if you run summary, summary will give you the picture about the minimum value, maximum value, and first quartile, median, mean, median, and third quartile. Of course, names can't have this information, and even gender can't have this information, but about your marks, the entire marks, you can see the minimum you have 4, maximum you have 28, minimum in 6, maximum 25, and so on. So you can check this. Now if you similarly, we have seen that if you want to see the names of any data frame, you can write call names also, and you can write only names also. So if you write names, that will also give you the answer of column names. Fine. So this is the another way of calling the call names. Fine. So now if you want to this you know. Okay. Now if you want to take a subset of any data frame, fine, you want a subset in the form of any observation. You want only first row, third row, sixth row, eighth row, and 10th row. Other you don't want, for example. So you can directly write here C, first row, third row, and 8th to 10th row, 8th, 9th, and 10th, because you are using this operator here. So you all know that operator is taking the 8 to 10 value, 8, 9, 10. Fine. So, and you are taking this before comma, that means you are talking about row. And if you write this after comma, that means you are talking about column. So you are taking a subset by rows, by observation, fine, of your data frame, MA first. Fine. And you are putting, or you are assigning this into another object that is called A. Fine. So if you run this, you can see you have another data frame A, which have 5 observation, first, third, and 3 observation in the bottom, 8, 9, 10. Fine. So you can see 8, 9, 10 and first, third. So you have the only 5 observation now. Fine. So you can take a subset in the terms of observation here. Similarly, if you want to take in terms of variable, so you know, if you don't use comma before and after, then you are talking about columns only. So here you are taking a subset of third column. Fine. So you are taking a third column as a B data frame. Fine. So you can see the gender is here. Fine. This gender is here. And now if you are taking subset of 4 to 8, all the marks of all the category, you are taking subset, because you are taking column, because you can see this is after comma. So fine, you know, after comma, it is talking about the column, and before comma, it is talking about row. Fine. So if you take this, so you can see this X data frame have all the marks only. You don't have roll number, gender, and other things. Maybe you required only marks to play with, to see the how much median you have, mean you have, other maybe correlation or something you want to see. Fine. So you want only marks. Similarly, another data frame, because here you have seen that you have taken only marks. Now you want only also roll number also. So you can take 1, 4 to 8. So in this data frame Y, you can see you have roll number also. Roll number and then marks. So you don't require date of birth, you don't require names, you want only roll number. So you are removing the names so that nobody can able to see the names and change the marks of according to names or something. So you want to give, or maybe you can give the some other roll number rather than this, so that you want to hide the actual information from the some person of roll number for this marks. So you can do that also. Fine. So you are removing all these things. Now about conditional statement. One conditional statement you have seen here. but this is not properly a conditional statement. Here you are just assigning some formula for the new variable. Now if you are using a conditional statement, if this is true, then do this. If this is not true, then do this. Fine. So that conditional statement also you can do. And we have already talked about that if you use double equal to, then it's talk about equal. If you take greater than and equal, then it talk about greater than equal. If you talk about less than equal, then less than equal. If you use only greater, then greater than only. If you use less than, then less than only. Fine. So we have done all these things previously. So I am not doing this here. And first of all, I'm going to attach this so that all the time I don't need to write first MA underscore first. Fine. All the time I don't want to write $sign and then the Beatrix names, because if I'll do this, I will get this. But if I'll write directly B stats and run this, fine. So I am getting this because I have already attached it, because if you won't attach it, you will not get this value. So you can try by your own, but I have already attached this. So I am getting this value. Fine. So to get the value with this only, you have to attach this. So you have to run this. So if you attach this, then you will get all these values. Fine. So now if you want to create, a one new variable with the if else statement. Fine. Here, this is a function if else. Fine. And in if else, first you will give some statement. This is some statement. You are saying if this is true, then take this value. And if this is not true, then take this value. Fine. So what you are saying here, you are saying if in B stat, if marks is greater than equal to 12, then consider that student pass. Otherwise, consider that student for repeat. That person need to repeat again if he is not getting the marks equal to or greater than 12. Fine. So that we need to place repeat, otherwise pass. So I am creating this and putting it into result underscore s stats. Fine. So I am creating one column here. If I'll run this, you can see this is the column. We have pass, 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 repeat, and so on. So if I'll call this in the console, so you can see this is the output here. So fourth person is repeating, the seventh is repeating, ninth is repeating. Fine. So I want to cross check with the numbers. Fine. So I am asking which value have less than the 12 of B stats. So which, if you run this, so you can see 4th, 7th, and 9th. So 4th, 7th, and 9th. These are lesser than this value. Fine. Similarly, if you run for ecotrix, the Beatrix is here econometrics. Fine. So if you run this, so you will get the value. And if you check this, so you can see 4th, 7th, and 10th. 4th, 7th, and 10th. Fine. Now, but as I told you that in my course, we are considering the both together. Fine. The tricks is different. Stats is not different. They are the part of one course. Fine. So I want a result together. I want a result together. The B stats plus B tricks. If both is greater than equal to 24, then pass. Otherwise repeat. Fine. So I am directly taking more than 24. So 12 here, 12 here, 24. Total 24. So if they have more than 24, then that means they are securing 40% marks. Fine. So then I am taking result as C. Fine. So if you run this and check this, so here you can see the 4th person is repeating, 7th is repeating, 9th and 10th is repeating. And if I'll ask this question, which one have this. So you can see 4, 7, 9, 10. Fine. Now, if you are writing a conditional statement here, you are using adding statement, some formula. But here you are using AND statement. If you are putting this and this, now you are saying you have to pass in stats and you have to pass in the tricks as well. Not separately, you have to pass separately in the both courses. Then I will consider pass, otherwise repeat. If you are even failing in one of these two, then you will not pass. Fine. This is the meaning of AND statement. Fine. So you have to pass this and in this. Fine. So this is AND statement. If you run this and you can see 4th, 7th, 9th and 10th, these persons are failing. Now similarly you can use OR condition. In OR condition, maybe I relax. Okay, if you pass in stats, then fine. I will consider even if you are failing in econometrics and you are passing in stats, so I will consider pass. Fine. So I am relaxing and I am putting here OR. For OR, you need to use this pipe sign. Fine. This you will find just above on the enter. Fine. So in enter, the just in the on keyboard, the just on above the enter keyword, you will find this pipe sign. So this is used for OR here. Fine. So if you run this and if you see, so now instead of 4 repeating, now only 2 is repeating. 4th and 7th. 9th and 10th is now passed because one of these is passed in one course. Fine. So with this relaxation, one is now passed. Fine. Now if you create the another here, if you want to add this into data frame, you can add. You can use the old data frame, comma, the name of variable. Fine. So you can add this into MA stats 2. This result, you can see now this result is a part of here. Pass, 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 pass. You can add this result. Similarly, the other result also you can add. Fine. Here the E1 or E2 and similarly or all you can add here. Fine. Here now, if you want to create a subset of data with the help of this if and else statement. Fine. So here you are creating a subset of data. MA first repeat. So you are creating a subset, means you just want a student who are repeating their information you want. So you are creating one more data frame, subset of MA first 2, and here you are saying that if this is equal to repeat, then consider it. No, we have 1. Okay, sorry. Let me write here 1. Okay, so then consider this. So you can see now this subset is for 4 observation where we have repeat. All pass is removed from this data. So on the basis of this, we have taken a subset. Fine. So we have all data here. We have taken only this, this, and this, and this. Fine. So we have these 4 information. Now we can create some remedial classes for these students and send them reminder here with the email and other things. So we have this data set. Fine. So with the help of the conditional statement. Fine. Similarly, you can use OR statement, you can use AND statement and take a subset. Fine. So I am just this you can try by your own. I will share this script. Fine. So now what if you have some NA value in your data? Fine. If you have some NA value, for example, in here you can see in maths, the 2 students were absent. Fine. So I could not able to give them any value. And because they were absent, I can't write 0. Fine. I can't write 0 because they were absent. So I am writing NA. Similarly here in macro, the other 2 students are absent. So the other teacher are writing NA. Fine. So I am creating this data frame here. So I have 3 variable here, and in 2 variable we have NA value. Here we have NA value, here we have NA value. Fine. So now I want to remove this NA. Fine. There are 3 ways I can remove this NA. First of all, I can remove entire NA. So if you have absent in even in one course, we will not consider the second course as well. Fine. So I will remove this 4th value, I will remove 5th value, I will remove 6th value, and I will remove 9th value. Because you were absent in one, I am not considering the other also. Or I am not presently considering it. Maybe I am taking the another example, another thing here. So I am just taking the complete value. So for that, I need to write, first of all, the new data frame, data underscore 1, then the name of this data MA, and then complete dot cases. So we want only complete cases of MA. Fine, MA data here. And because we are writing this before comma, that means we are talking about observations. We are not talking about columns. So if you run this, so we have only 6 observations now. So all the NA have been removed from here. Fine. So even if you have one NA rather than other, so I am removing the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 9th. So you have now without 4th, 5th, 6th, and 9th. You can see this. Fine. But now you will see why you are removing the macro marks when we have macro marks. We want this macro marks. We don't want the marks. We don't want to remove the persons who were not there in macro, but they are in maths. I'm talking about. I'm concerned about only maths. I'm not concerned about macro. Even if you are absent in macro, I don't have any problem. But you were present in my course, then okay. So in that case, I will consider MA underscore macro only. So not this sign is for not is dot NA. So not agar jahan par NA nahi hai, where the NA is not there, then consider that cases and put them into the data underscore underscore 1. So now you can see rather than 6 value, we have 8 observation. So here you can see all maths are here, but in macro, wherever we have NA, we have removed that. Fine. So on the basis of one column, you can select the all, you can remove the NAs, or on the basis of entire data, you can remove the NAs. So this is the 2-way. Third way is also this NA dot omit MA. So that by this, you can remove the entire the NA from entire data. So these are the 3 ways you can remove this. Now, if you don't want to remove the NAs, but you want to put some value in place of that NA. For example, you will some of the students came to me and said that, oh sir, I could not able to come because there was lots of rain there, or I was not well at that time, and it's really bad if you give me 0 or you remove my case. Please consider my case. So I said, okay, whatever, I could not able to take another exam, but I will give you an average marks. Fine. So whatever the entire class average is there, I will give you that marks. Fine. So in that case, what I will do, I will write this first statement. First statement is talking about in which cases we have NAs. Fine. So in maths, which cases we have NAs. So you can see these 2 cases are NA. Fine. So if we write which here, no, this is not argument. Okay, this is the argument. You can take this MA underscore maths, this C, this thing. So you can check these are the NAs on the 4th position and 6th position. Fine. So you can cross tab, and these are the position where we have this NA. If you write this argument, this is the argument wherever we have NA. So this means that wherever we have NA in this data, consider that. And now we are assigning assignment operator. With assignment operator, we are assigning mean of the maths marks. Fine, mean of the maths marks. Why we are writing this NA dot RM is equal to true? Let me first remove this. Okay. And now if I take a mean of this, you can see argument, the answer is NA. Why this NA is there? Because if you see in macro, you have this NA also. So R is not able to understand what value you want to take in place of this NA when you are considering mean of this row. So you have to tell the R that, okay, take NA dot RM is equal to true. So remove RM matlab remove. So wherever NA is there, remove that NA, that is equal to true, and consider the other complete information and calculate the mean. Fine. So if you run this, you can see now you can able to run a mean, get a mean. So fine. So if you take both together, so you can able to put some value in place of the MA. You can see now math in place of these two, you have this mean value 15.25. So now you have 15.25 in place of these two. So now you have replacing the missing value with mean. Similarly, you can replace the value with median also. So you can replace this value with median also. Let me first remove the other things and let me again generate MA. Fine. So if you now remove this and consider the mean rather than median here. If you write median here, so and let me first show you what is the value of median here. So value of median is 16.5 rather than 15.25. I am giving the median value. Fine. So now if we change this, so you can see now in place of this, we have rather than 15.25, we have 16.5. Now one more case, you can also give a minimum marks. I'm saying, no, I will not give you average marks. I will not give you a median mark, but I will give you a medium marks. Fine, minimum marks. Whatever one minimum students are getting, I will give you only that. I will not give you median. Why I will give you median? I want to punish you. Why you are not there in my class? So I want to punish you. So I am giving you minimum marks. Fine. So let me first remove this because it's already there with the medium marks. So let me put the minimum marks. So you can see the minimum marks was 2. So we have replaced with 2 only, not with the mean and median. So because 127 roll number was complaining that why you are giving these students with the mean marks. I could also not come for the test. So why you are giving them some marks? So I will give you a marks equal to him, this marks, the marks of this candidate. Fine. So this is also possible. So max, minimum, medium, minimum, you can give anything. Fine. Now, if you want to export this data from here to in some format. For example, you want to export in the CSV format, comma separated version. Fine. So if you want to bring this into your laptop in comma separated version, so then you have to write table, the name of this data which you want to bring out, this MA first, file name which you want to store in your computer, MA first .csv, and you want to separate it with the comma. Fine. So if you run this, so you can see you have to check which one is your working directory. I think this is my working directory. Yeah, it will come in your working directory. You can check your working directory also. If you want to check working directory, so you have to use this command, get working directory. So my working directory is SPM college day one folder. Fine. So whatever I will store, that will come here only. Whatever I will save, that will come here only. Fine. So it's directly coming here. Now, if rather than this, I want to give a path. So you can give a path also. I want to store in C user SR desktop R lab for 003 and so on. So you can store in some path with path only. And if you want to see the path, you can click here. And if you click here, you can see the path. This is the path. Fine. But just you have to use, rather than this forwarding slash, you have to use the backslash. Here you can see this is the backslash here. Just you have to copy this and use here, and with the backslash, rather than the forward slash, you have to use the backslash. Fine. So now you can store. Let me remove file from here so that again I can generate it here. So if I'll run, so you can see now it's again here in my folder, day one. You can see now it's again here. Fine. If I'll open it, you can able to see then this file is here in CSV format. This will look like a Excel, but it's not Excel, it's CSV format. Fine. So you have all these information, you can copy, you can store it and in any format. Fine. Similarly, you can bring this into the Excel format. For that, you need to install this XLS package. I talked about the package first, initial in the first. So you have to install the install.packages XLSX. So if you install it, it will take some time. Fine. After this, when this again this sign is here, then it means it already installed. And before using it, you need to call the library command. And when you run that library command, that means it's there. Now you can store it again. You can save it. I don't think there is some problem with this command. I don't know why. I'll check
So
it.
can you try read Excel? I think it will work with read Excel.
Okay, let me try that.
So maybe it is not reading right now. If you want to continue, you can.
I need to first close it again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'll share this command. You can try see all these things here. Fine, the CSV, and for the other commands, it's there if you want to store it in, and you can check even Excel, XLS. The command is here also. The related to this. We have very limited time, so okay, I'm moving it. I will share these commands. You can try this again. Fine. So now similarly, I have already talked about maximum, minimum, and mean, median, sample. You can calculate here 1 to 6. Value you have size 1 sample you want, replacement with true or false. Fine. So with replacement you want the sample, or without replacement you want. If you write F, that means without replacement. If you write T, that means with replacement. So you can get a sample also. You can write this, and if you want to write your own argument, if you or draw your own function, for example, some function is not available here, so you can write your own function also. Fine. So function within bracket here, that means you if this bracket is empty, that means you are not specifying something here. So whatever is there in between of these two bracket, you want to specify that argument here. Fine. So you are specifying this function as an object name X. So that will store here. If you run this, so here you are saying sum of 1 to 10. So whenever you run X bracket open bracket close, it will add the value from 1 to 10. Fine. So you have given one function where you are adding all the value from 1 to 10. Fine. Similarly, here you are saying every time take a maximum value from these three, 7 values whenever you write this X bracket open bracket close. So that is another function. If you run this, you can see the maximum of these value is 456. So this is the one way of creating new function. Similarly, here you are saying A, B, C, D, E, F. These are the values which you want to place here, and you want a maximum value of this and minimum value of this. So this is a function. Fine. So now you are putting the value 120, 110. Every time you want to change this value. So for A, this is different, B different. Now you are saying X. See, you want to write that the function of A, for example, then the value is you are taking all these values, and B value this. Fine. So let me write this the X .44 is the minimum value. So you, because you are writing in the end, one will consider only. Let me write this way. So now you are saying argument here. Here you are defining that out of these 7 value, whatever maximum value you want to take. But here all the time these value will only consider. Now you want to specify every time different value, different 6 value. Fine. So here you are not specifying, you are specifying A, B, C, D, E, F, any 5, 6 value you will take, and out of this 6 value you want only minimum value. Fine. So you are creating one function X here, which will take a minimum value of this. Fine. So now if you write any 6 value, it will always give you a minimum value. If you write max here, it will give you every time a max value. You can see 120. Fine. Similarly, you can write any function, any argument here. You are writing average function, similarly like mean. Fine. Mean where you are first of all adding all the observation of X and then dividing with the length of X. Fine. And you want this in the decimal place of 2. Fine. In 2 digits only. You want this average in 2 digits only. So you want an average of A, average of B. So average of A is 79.17. Mean is also 17.1666. This is a function, inbuilt function into R. Fine. And this is a function you have created here. Fine. So this is the 2 different functions which are here. Fine. So similarly, you can create any functions here, any one function here. So hello.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yeah, can I continue with plots?
Yeah,
Or
sure.
it's already 1 hour.
Yes, you can do.
Yeah, okay. So I will just give a 15 minutes of the plots only, rather than going in a much details because of the less time. And I will share these steps with you. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so for this, first of all, we required to plot, to use a plots, we required some data. So we are using data from applied econometric research, this thing. So from one package, we need to install this package, AER package. And after installing it, we need to call it with library command. Fine. And what all data we have in this package, we can call that with the data command. You can see all these data we have in some inbuilt data we have already. So you can use any of these data. So we are using the China income data out of this. Fine. So we have data on China income. So if you want to see this data on China income, we are calling this. This is a time series data. Fine. Here, if you want to to see what kind of data this is. So you can call a help and you can read here. This is time series in real national income in China per section, index 152, 152, sorry, 1952 is the base period here. Fine. So it's a base period and it's a data on national income, real national income. Fine. So the real national income of agriculture, industry, construction, transport, and commerce. Fine. So all we have here for the period of 1952 to 1988 with 5 variables. Fine. So let me call this data here. So you can see if I'll call head here, so agriculture, commerce, construction, industry, transport. So in agriculture, we have this kind of data, and commerce and transportation. See, these are all here. Now, if I want to attach this, I can't able to attach it. Why? Because this is not in the data frame format. It's presently in the format of values. Fine. So this is a list format, not in the data frame format. So we have to convert it into the data format first. Fine. So we can check this. Class is the some other format. So we need to convert it into the data frame format. And to do that, we need to use the as.data.frame within bracket China income. Fine. And we can store this into the China underscore income. So if we'll do that, you can see now we have this in the data frame format. Fine. So you can remove this China income from here. And now you can check the class of this, that is data.frame. You can attach this. This will able to attach this data. Now you can get the names. First of all, names of this data frame means column names: agriculture, commerce, construction, industry, transport. Now you can get a mean of all these things. Mean of agriculture is 151. Mean of commerce is 260. Mean of construction is 549. Mean of industry is 1244. Mean of transport is this. And if you add all these means into one list, that is mean of data. Fine. So if you add this, you can see now you have mean of data, 5 values. All values are here. Fine. These all values are all together. Now you can also get the median. Similarly, median of all these things. And if you want the mode, so mode function is not there, inbuilt function. So you can write the function command, as I have discussed in the previous thing. You can write a function for this. So I have written a function. So get mode. This is a function here. Now I can get the mode also for agriculture, for the commerce, construction, industry, transport. Now similarly, standard deviation, if you want to get a standard deviation, that is SD. Standard deviation, commerce, construction, industry, transport. Similarly for variance, if you want to, there is two way. One, you can square the standard deviation, that is also a variance, or you can get where is the for variance. So both is the same. So you can see the result is same. Fine. Definitely, because that is just using a same thing in a different manner. Fine. So commerce, construction, variance, all these things we have. Covariance of agriculture and commerce, and correlation of agriculture and commerce. So covariance, you all know the difference between covariance and correlation. Correlation is very high between agriculture and commerce. Fine. And if you want to round off this in 2 digits, so you can use round correlation of in 2 digits. So then rather than having a lots of digits, you can have only 2 digits here. Fine. Now I want to plot the agriculture. I want to see how agriculture is moving over the year. So the command is plot agriculture. If I'll run this, you can see now here we have agriculture, here we have years. Fine, it's moving year by year. Fine, so this is the scatter plot. Now, rather than this scatter, I want a line. So you just need to write type equal to L. Fine, so if you do that, then you have a line plot. Fine, now you need to write some heading here, some heading that is main. So the function is for main and heading is agriculture income in India. So if you write this, so you can see now you have a heading agriculture income in China. Fine. So now you also write the label. Label here agriculture income in China and here years. So you can see X labels is year and while the main is this. So you are writing the year here in the X level. So you can see now you have years here. Now you want to write the Y labels also, the agriculture income. So Y labels you can see here, you are writing the Y label, the agriculture income. You can see this is agriculture income. Now you want to change this font size of this main this thing. So you can, if you use one is for default as default, the same one. If you use less than one, that means you want to reduce it. And if you use more than one, that means you are proportionately increasing the size of this main. So if you are using 2, that means you want to increase double size of this. Fine. So if you run this, you can see it's now double size. Fine. Similarly, if you want to change the label size also, this size also, this size in the second row. So CX level, similarly, 1 is for default same size and 2 is increasing, and mean you are taking 3 for main. Fine. So this is greater. If you zoom in, you can see this will be look like this. Fine. Similarly, if you change this limit of this years, because here year is in not in any limits, you can change the limit also, but it's not doable here because years is in not any limit. Similarly, if you want to add colors, here, this line you want to add in some color, so you want red line here rather than this black line. You can check the colors here in the R. There are more than 1800 colors in the R. So you can use any of these color. Fine. So red is the very basic, and in red also there are many shade. So you can use any shade of this R. Red 1, red 2, red 3, red 4, and so on. So I am using the basic red. So you can see now the color is red. Fine. So you can use red 3 also. It's slightly different than red. Fine. Now, if you want to change the width of this, this is you are finding very thin line. You want to make it thick, little bit thicker. So if you use 1, that is again for same. If you use 2, so it will double thicker and so on. So LWD is line width. Fine. So LWD. So if you use, you can see it is little bit thicker now. If you use 5, so it's more thicker and so on. So you can keep it more thicker and more thicker. Fine. Now, if you want to change this line type, so you can use any LTY line type 1, 1, 2, 3, and you can have any different type of lines here. Fine. 4, you can check any. Fine. So similarly, if you want to add the grid in the background, so that you can able to make out that how much it changes. So grid, to add grid, you just need to write grid, bracket open, bracket close. If you write like, you can have a grid line, so it will look like beautiful. You can see how much it when it reaches to 200 level, you can easily make out after 30 years, it will make to the 200 level. Fine. So with the grid, it will be a benefit to see. Color you can change. These are for different type of plot. So you can change the type also. Rather than L, you can use S for step. You can use B for the bold scatter plot, and so on. Fine. So you can use that also. The P is also for different type of scatters. Fine. Now, if you want to add another line here, one line is already there, agriculture. Now you want to add industry also here. So one line for agriculture. Now you want to add industry. But you can see the industry is out of focus here. Fine. It's not coming into the frame. Why? Because we can see the max value of industry and minimum value of agriculture. It has a huge difference. Or you can see the max value of agriculture. So it's a huge difference. The max value of this and the max value is this. So maximum value of agriculture is only 279, but maximum value of the industry is 4765. So that is very huge. So you have to bring this this into the limit. Fine. So you have to bring the limit here. So you are bringing the Y limit from 80 to 5000, so that this will also come and this will also come. So you are changing the limit here and plotting it again. So you can see here, but you can't see the much change in the agriculture here with the change in industry, because industry is changing much, but you can't see much changes in the agriculture. Agriculture is looking like a flat because you have changed this size. Fine. You can also make the same thing in a different manner. Fine. So this is the way you can have the two different command, and you can change the color also. The second one or the first one, you can try to do that line. You can see this one is red, this one is blue. You can do that. So that is also one way of doing this. So this is about plotting. Fine. So because of the time is already 6:30, so I cannot able to do all these things. I will share this script. You can try all these commands, and wherever you will struck, you can write me an email. I will share the details about it. Fine. So I am just ending my lecture here only. Over to you, Jyotsna.
Thank you, sir. What an amazing session. I'm sure all of us have learned something new as well as valuable. I'd now like to invite our teacher in charge, Dr. Jyotsna ma'am, for a few words and conclude the day with a vote of thanks.
Thank you, sir. Again, it's a very detailed and informative session. And I like the last one, the plotting the graphs. It's very easy. So as far I analyze, it's a multi-window programming. Somewhere we are putting the commands, in next session we are storing, in somewhere we are looking the results. If we are getting the right command or not. And in the last session, we are plotting the thing. So it's a very amazing software and easy to handle also for the students. The simple commands are there. So one question is from my side is that, do we have again any key from where we can learn how to plot or how to write the commands?
I have shared one
Document.
the link. One link with the WhatsApp. On that link, it's a one ebook or so there it's there all the command related to some loops, some plotting, creating some new variable, and taking a subset of data. All these things are there, and every time whenever it's required, you can also refer to the help session of the help part of this. You can, because here lots of commands are already there. You can see the plotting here, the plot command. If you write plot, you can able to see the ggplot2, ggplot2, the lots of things. Wherever you click, you can able to read lots of things about it. You can see ggplot, plotto, or commands are here. You can see the command and why this command is here. The every text is here. This is the basic, the entire ebooks. This is from the entire ebooks which is available online. So it's taking the all the help from the all the communities who have stored some information here on the online. So you can just search this from this search menu, and you can get the entire text about that command.
Okay, so those the document and the link that you have shared with us,
Yeah,
from
yeah.
where the students can learn how to write the command.
Yeah, that is one basic book. There are lots of other books, but maybe that is paid. I will try to find out some ebook also, the other books. Fine. So they can refer all those books. I will send those book also if
Okay.
I have some ebooks. But mostly I'll share my commands only. So I'll share my commands, whatever I have discussed here, and whatever even I could not able to discuss just because of less time. So because 2 days is very less to talk about the R, because here in this school I have the entire semester for this course. Fine. So it's very difficult to choose some things, some flavor for just to serve here in 2 days and 2 hours.
True.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for this detailed and interactive session. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank-
sir. Thank you, ma'am. Once again, thank you to each and everyone for making this event a great success. We request you all to fill the feedback form, which will be circulated after the session. I would also like to remind you that the form is considered as your attendance for the day. All the registered participants, kindly follow the instructions posted on Google Classroom regularly. I hope to see you all tomorrow for day 3 of this workshop. Stay tuned.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Yes, Shreya, please. Have you flowed all the information via the group?
What, ma'am?
Have you floated all the information via the group to the students regarding feedback form and all these things? Done?
Yes, ma'am. वो और 15 minutes में they'll get the feedback form.
Great. And stay tuned for the tomorrow as well. Okay.
Yes,
Tomorrow is
ma'am.
the third day, third session for the hour. Then we will move to the next topic, that is LaTex for the Friday and Saturday.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
ma'am.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.